one of the architects of one of the most productive offenses in NFL history, Pete Carmichael. How does that title sound for you?
Well, it sounds great, but there's a lot of other factors that go into that, starting with the head coach, the quarterback, and then the rest of the group of offensive players we've had over the years, and really what a great coaching staff we have. These guys all work together, and everybody's got one goal, one purpose. There's no egos. We go in that room and we work to get it to where it needs to be.
How do you maintain for such a long period of time? Because now we're talking about not necessarily interchangeable parts, and yet you still have to fill and find replacements and still be able to keep up to speed.
Yeah, I think that every year there's guys that leave and guys that come in. I think that's just part of it. But the consistent factor of having Sean Payton and Drew Brees leading the charge has been something that's been lucky for us to have them for so long.
Now, Saints are going into this NFL draft. We don't necessarily know who they're going to pick, but if they were to pick an offensive guy, what would be the makeup of the offensive guy that you would be looking for? Not necessarily position-wise, but what would be his makeup?
Well, I think that he'd have to have great character, a player that is going to get along with his teammates, guys that, a player that guys are going to respect and just is going to come to work every day, keep his mouth shut, and just work hard.
How much does intelligence play into it, especially offensively with this team? Because you guys have a thick resume, a thick playbook, and guys have to be able to adapt to be able to play in this offense.
That's a great point. That's obviously another characteristic is the intelligence. Having Drew and Sean being together for as long as they have, this volume of this playbook expands, and it's a little bit more challenging for a guy coming in and having to learn that volume. So obviously intelligence is a huge factor, and I think that's something that Mickey, Sean, and Jeff stress so much.
But how do you determine it? Because you get him out there. Is it more so putting him on the field and figuring out what he knows? Is it putting him on the chalkboard? I mean, how do you determine how fast a guy is able to learn this offense and digest it?
Well, I think prior to the draft, a lot of homework's being done by Jeff Ireland and his group of guys, his scouts. And they do such a great job getting all this information. And then as coaches, whether you're getting to the Senior Bowl or the Combine, where you have an opportunity to meet these guys, interview them, kind of take them through a test, and just kind of get a feel for them, or maybe you're going up to their school to meet with them, work out. But obviously, again, like I said, Jeff and his scouts do a great job. They kind of lead you into how they know what they know about them. And obviously, as coaches, you follow up with that and then form an opinion.
Now, it's draft night, but obviously this team has also done some work in free agency. So we're going to ask you for a thumbnail on some of the free agent pickups. Running back Latavius Murray, what do you think of him?
Well, I think the first thing that you hear, and you just mentioned this, is from everybody you hear about what a great character and locker room guy this is. And then you get this big back that is explosive and just moves, the pile is always moving forward. And so he's a positive runner for us in that. And yet, again, he has big plays. And he's got the vision is he can be on the field first, second, third down, whether he's coming out of the backfield to catch a pass or be in protection for us.
Second guy, Jarrett Cook, tight end.
The first thing you notice when you put on the film is just the speed downfield, the explosiveness. He gets the ball in his hands, and he's physical. So I think that's an element of the game that's important for us.
You guys needed a center with the retirement of Max Unger, Nick Easton.
Smart, tough, physical football player, and just got some versatility because he can play center, he can play guard. So I think that that's a great addition for us.
A little underrated third-round pick this year. Everybody doesn't necessarily notice it, but quarterback Teddy Bridgewater, because he essentially is this year's third-round pick.
Well, listen, the best part about getting Teddy back is we'll now have a full off season to work with him, and last year we got him right before the season started, and so he didn't really have that day one install that maybe will be good for him to have, and just kind of from the beginning, and more of an opportunity to work with him.